welcome to the Mid-Missouri Art News, sponsored by the Jefferson City Art Club. I'm Rick J., your host. I have two special guests today, Mr. Fred Schollmeyer from Schollmeyer, Missouri, who is a member of the Jefferson City Art Club and a well-known artist in the area, and also Bill Wood out of Camdenton, Missouri, who is the president of the Brush and Palette Club in the Camdenton and Osage Beach, Missouri areas. I'd like to say welcome, Fred. Fred is also the current featured artist on the Jefferson City Art Club website.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for having me here. I'm very appreciative to be here.
Super, super. Well, I'd like to start things off, Fred, by asking you if you can share with us when or how you were first inspired to become an artist.
Well, Rick, I was always interested in art. Even as a small child, I can remember making my own Halloween costume as a 6-year-old. I would have dreams about new boxes of crayons as a kid. In high school, I went to a small high school and we had Art 1. That was it, Art 1. And there was one class, and I attended that class. So I didn't get a whole lot of instructional art material, art in high school. I went to Lincoln University, and I consider myself a child of the 1960s. Now, I turned 16 in 1970, so one of the main movements in the art field during the 1960s was pop art. And Andy Warhol's soup cans, for example. And I was interested in that because it was real popular at that time in the 60s and 70s. And there was an offshoot, another movement that came out of pop art called photorealism, or sometimes referred to as hyperrealism. And I remember in college we talked about it, and in the back of my mind I put this mental note that if I ever had time and motivation, that's what I wanted to do. So I was really, really interested in that, in making artwork that was very, very photorealistic. So I graduate, go into teaching, start teaching art, and I'm at a festival, outdoor festival, and there's a guy painting a t-shirt with an airbrush. And I became fascinated with the airbrush. And I decided that of all the mediums out there, I thought airbrush would be probably the thing for me. I experimented with watercolors and oils, and I thought, gee, this really seems fit for me. And the slang term, the street term for an airbrush artist is an airhead. And I told my wife that, and she goes, you know, I think you're onto something here, Fred. I've been with the airbrush since the mid-1980s. I've been painting with it, and I get my works confused a lot of times with photographs because it's so very realistic.
Oh, I see. Well, I see you've pretty well clarified the favorite mediums and subject matter. Well, we didn't touch much on subject matter. Give us a little bit of a clue on what you really like to work with.
I paint landscapes because they're very accessible. Most people can enjoy those. But at the same time, probably my favorite is like still lifes, especially like I like to do antique toys, like the old tops that you would spin. You know, yes. The graphics on them is very colorful. Oh, yes. So I like painting those, but I just paint a whole variety of different things. I paint portraits. I like to work in a style, it's referred to as fool the eye, where I paint objects the size they are in real life, for example, a toy or a comic book, and when you look at it in a gallery, it appears to be realistic. It's almost as if you could touch the comic book, but it's just a painting of the comic book, yes. or a painting of the toy. So I like to work in that particular medium, and the airbrush fits so well with the style of art, the photorealistic style I work. So it all came together and it all works for me.
Super. Yes, I've viewed a few of your pieces, and they are excellent. Be worth going to one of your presentations.
Thank you.
Speaking of presentations, what do you have in process now, or are you showing at any view? venue at this time?
Well, I'm painting a larger piece right now of a street scene at home. I'm in the middle of that. But I've got some pieces out in various places. Of course, you mentioned I was featured artist for the Jefferson City Art Club. Well,
Yes.
that means I've got paintings at the Department of Motor Vehicle, and that's at 1617 South Ridge Drive here in town. I've got 16 paintings there, and those will be on display through the end of the month. I also have hand-painted Christmas ornaments. I do some craft-related things, and those are on display at the gifting show at Capitol Arts. That's at 1203 Missouri Boulevard, and that runs through December. So those are hand-painted ornaments of mine. This is a long list. Also, I have 2 paintings in the 29th Annual Judged Art Show in Rolla, Missouri. That's a real nice show that's sponsored by Arts Rolla, and that's located at the center, and that's at 1200 North Holloway in Rolla. And one more thing, I've got some pieces that will be going to the Missouri Watercolor Invitational exhibit, and that's in St. Louis. That's going to be on display through the month of December, and that's at the Create Space Gallery in Lafayette Square in St. Louis. That's a great show because artists from throughout the United States are invited to exhibit their work there. Each artist can exhibit up to 2 or 3 pieces, and it's a great show. If you're in the St. Louis area in December, you'll want to look that one up. I also have work available at my website, fredschollmeyer.com. I also write a blog, and my writing is somewhat subdued on there. Beautiful artwork, writing subdued, so I suggest people drink a caffeinated liquid of some kind before going on there, because you might fall asleep with my writing. but I show step by step on how to do some of the work. It's a blog spot. I've got like over 500 different spots there, blog spots that you can look at. Also, I sell my work on a commercial. It's kind of like eBay, but it's made for original acrylic paintings or original oils, and it's called dailypaintworks.com. So I've got a big internet presence there that you can look at my work.
Great. Well, you have quite an extensive background and well represented. I hope our viewers will log in and look at your websites and hopefully maybe be interested in
that would be great.
In just the presentation alone. Well, you know, Fred, you have an extensive history with the Jefferson City Art Club, and a member since my records show 1996.
Yes.
And did serve a 2-year experience as president of the club from 2008 to 2010. May I ask how the Jefferson City Art Club maybe has inspired you as an artist?
Well, it gives you a venue, a local venue, where you can display your work. We have, you know, the adults artist exhibit each spring, and then every other year we have the professional art exhibit. So those are for adults to exhibit their work. It's a great place to display your work at the exhibits. The meetings are very nice in that you get to share, you get to communicate with other artists and other people that are interested in the arts. Some people think that the Jefferson City Art Club is intended only for artists, and that's not true. You may just have a casual interest in art. Stop by the meetings. It's a very casual, welcoming environment for you. Stop by the meetings. You may just dust off those art appreciation books from college every once in a while and think, oh, gee, you know, I'd like to get involved, you know, in a social thing here with people that like art, that have the same interests that I do. So the Jefferson City Art Club is a great organization. Each month, I mentioned the meeting. We also have an artist come in each month at the meeting and talk to us about their work. They show their work. They show how they do it. So it's just a wonderful organization, a great organization to get into. If you have any interest at all in the arts, you should consider actually joining.
And what night of the month could you share with us that meeting is held?
That's the third Monday of each month, September through May, and that's held at the Community Christian Church that's at 409 Ellis Boulevard. The doors open at 5:30. The meeting starts at 6. There's first of all, the presentation by the artist, the visiting artist, and then we have refreshments, and there's a lot of time to converse with fellow artists and people that appreciate the arts. And then there's usually a short business meeting. So it's, like I said, it's very welcoming, very casual. So I suggest, if you have an interest, why, stop by.
Super. Well, I understand that the Jefferson City Art Club has just finished a celebration called the 2016 Fling Social, which celebrated 113 years as a club dedicated to the study of art appreciation in Central Missouri. Can you share with us what it really means to you to be part of this 113th year celebration?
It's a great historical group. They've been around. It's my understanding some of the founding members had attended the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis, and they had saw some of the art exhibits. They came back and got so excited that kind of promoted the club to continue. And there's a lot of people excited, interested in art, and a lot of those people were at the Fling. There was a great buffet, and there's a lot of giveaways, door prizes. Several of the people that were artists brought pieces of work along, and they got to talk about them. So it was just a really nice celebration of our history of our club.
It was really a fun event. I was able to attend and enjoyed every minute of it.
It was great.
For those interested in learning more firsthand, can you tell our viewers where and when the next meeting is where they could witness this?
Well, that will be coming up the third Monday this month, and I don't have the date.
The 21st, I believe.
Okay, the 21st, and that's 409 Ellis Boulevard, as I mentioned, Community Christian Church, so come on by.
Super. Well, Fred, on behalf of the Jefferson City Art Club and JCTV, I want to thank you for sharing so much with us here on Mid-Missouri Art News. Can you leave us with the Jefferson City Art Club website address for more information?
Yes, I can.
And a telephone number for
that is
more information.
Jefferson City Art Club -Missouri.com. Jefferson City Art Club is just one word, -Missouri.com. And that phone number, if you're interested, is 573-645-4507.
Well, thank you, Fred. It's been my pleasure.
Thanks so much.
It's been very enjoyable and instructive and somewhat educational.
Thanks, Rick. I really appreciate being here.
After the break, we meet Bill Wood out of Camdenton, Missouri. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
My parents say I have to be home right after work.
That's so gay.
Totally gay.
That is so Emma and Julia.
Imagine if who you are were used as an insult. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to the second segment of Mid-Missouri Art News, featured by the Jefferson City Art Club here on JCTV, Jefferson City, Missouri, our capital city in Missouri. I'd like to introduce you next to Bill Wood of Camdenton, Missouri, a few miles south of Jeff City, who is the president of the Missouri Palette Brush and Palette Art Club, which also has a lot more to share. Bill, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, on behalf of the Jefferson City Art Club and the Mid-Missouri Art News, I would like to welcome you in a most community enthusiastic way as we try to pull our communities together.
Right.
Can you share with Bill, the opening question generally, on how you first was inspired to become an artist?
Well, it came probably totally by accident about over 30 years ago. My sister dabbled in painting and stuff like that, and so I was over at her house one time and she said, "I got these paints here, you want to try them?" And I said, "Oh, sure, why not?"
Yes.
And been hooked ever since, pretty much. It's been just a real great time exploring different types of art and playing with different things. So it's been pretty much of a self-taught experience. I've luckily been able to take a few workshops and things like that over the years, but I'm still pretty much a student of it. So
super. Now, has there been an artist that's really inspired you through these years that you want to mention?
Well, there's a local artist, Lynn Ferris. I really like her style and how she's more of an impressionistic artist, and so that's kind of what I go for. So I really look up to her for her work and stuff like that.
Super. Yes, I'm familiar with Lynn, an excellent artist
the
area. Hope maybe at some point we can be able to interview her here
she'd be great.
Mid-Missouri Art News. Well, can you share with us what your favorite subject matter, your favorite medium is that you like to work with?
Yeah.
That's always a big question in the minds of artists.
Oh, sure. Yeah, everybody wants to know what you do. Mine's mostly acrylic, and I do oil as well. I've kind of gone back and forth, over the years. You get stuck in one medium, and then you kind of get into that, and then you start playing with the oil, and then going from there. But right now I'm actually combining the two. I'm doing basically like an acrylic painting and then doing an overlay with oil with a palette knife. And it gives me a really interesting impressionistic feel. So I like that a lot.
Super. So you have the best of both worlds.
Right, yeah. I couldn't decide, so I just combined them,
Super. Well, now, Bill, my research tells me that you're very active in the communities in and around Camdenton, Missouri. So I'm led to believe that you're one busy person.
Yeah.
Can you give us, our viewers, an idea of what makes you a busy man?
Well, I own a business in town, Bill's Art Center and Gallery. I have a great gallery and stuff, and I do custom framing there. But that's one of my loves for sure. But then also I'm involved with Arts Council to some degree and work with them on different projects. And then also the Brush and Palette Club, which I'm the president of now. And also the Chamber of Commerce. We've been working with the Tourism Committee there, trying to develop arts and business together, And actually in October we did a thing that we were actually working with the Chamber to get artists out to different venues around the lake there. And so we had artists going to different wineries and stuff like that on the weekends. Wow. So they got some exposure there, and plus people got to see a lot of great art. And also we did some art shows and things like that. So it was a very good event.
So you do have events just like Jefferson City Art Club.
Yeah.
You're busy with the organization, getting the art out there, get the art community together
Right.
in a brothership, what have you, setting. It just really sounds like a lot of fun. So do you have monthly meetings or?
Yeah, at the Brush and Palette Club, we have monthly meetings. It's the, let's get this right. It's the first Thursday of the month, and we meet at Methodist Church in Camdenton there, and that club's been established since, I believe the 80s, early 80s, so they've been around for a while.
And that's open to the public.
Absolutely.
Super.
We encourage people to come. It starts at 7, and we have young people all the way up to the old people, you might say. So we have a good time, and we usually have a presenter like your club does that comes in, and guest speaker that talks about whatever it is they're doing. So it's always an interesting time.
Oh, it sounds like it. I can vouch for the art club in Jefferson City. It seems like we're all on the same page after the same thing. We have such a good time. So I'd invite anyone to either club personally here from the Mid-Missouri Art News program. Well, you know, Bill, I understand also that the Ozark Brush and Palette Art Club has a really special project that they are proud of and feel that it is a building foundation for some very fortunate young people in your art community in and around Camdenton. Would you enlighten the viewers on this rewarding program?
Yeah, we started a mentoring program where we actually go reach out to all the different high schools and stuff. They have the Lake Art Council does an art show every year that includes a lot of the art students or high school students and middle school students. And we try to find one of those individuals who have done well in that art show to see if they want to become a mentoree for our program. And so we're up to 3 right now. We pick one every year. And Terry Cochran, who was the president of the art club at that time, is the one that established that. And it's been a really wonderful experience for us as members of the club and for the students themselves, because they've been able to, we pay for all their, any lessons they have, we pay for the membership. We take care of all that for them so that they're able to just to go out and experience different art. So, and they get to work under different artists in the club as well as out of the club. And when we had our professional art show down the lake in October, 2 of our mentorees got to participate in that, and one of them sold several pieces of art. And so it was a great experience to have when you're in 10th grade or whatever it is. So,
Definitely.
yeah, so it's a wonderful thing.
It's a win-win situation.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Not only in the hearts of the art club, but also, I'm sure, the youngsters and the parents. And they serve as an example to other young art students or art enthusiasts.
Well, it keeps the club young. It really does.
Yes.
You know, we tend to age a little bit in our club, and so this really helps keep it young.
I see, I understand. Well, Bill, do you have anything else you'd like to share with us specifically that you'd like to cover at this venue?
Well, I think I just wanted to let people know that my business is moving to a bigger location, so that because we got so many artists in there, I need a bigger gallery, so we want to be able to feature as many artists as we can down the lake area. So we're actually going to move about 1.5 blocks away, so that's going to be a really cool thing that we'll be able to promote more artists in the area, because we've got a great foundation of artists that live down there at the lake, and we want to make Camdenton an art destination for people to come down.
So you'll be really, really close to the square there.
The square,
in Camdenton, Missouri.
Yes, absolutely.
Probably what, the northeast?
It's
corner?
It's North Highway 5 in Camdenton there, just across from First National. Yeah.
Oh, okay, super, super. So if we drive up tomorrow, wanting to see Bill's Billwood Art Center, we'll probably see a moving sign.
You'll see him, yes.
Okay, super. Well, congratulations on the move.
Thank you.
Just again, we'll be able to spread yourself out a little bit farther and reach out to more.
It's going to be good because it'll open it up for more artists to be involved in, and hopefully we can develop more art events in the lake area, because we really believe that we got the talent and we got the right place. I mean, a lot of people come down to the lake to visit anyhow, so why not have a a great arts community there to come visit too and see a lot of local art.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Bill. Well, it's been my pleasure having you as a guest here on Mid-Missouri Art News. On behalf of the Jefferson City Art Club and JCTV, which hopes to bring together all art lovers and enthusiasts in mid-Missouri through this program, I want to thank you so much for this interview and the learning experience that is possible. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
And thank you, as a viewer, for watching. Look for more Mid-America and Mid-Missouri art news right here on JCTV and on YouTube. I'm Rick J. saying, see you next time.